Hey everyone, sorry that this isn't the Up Smash video you all may or may not have been anticipating, so I apologize in advance for that. And I'm also apologizing in advance for me not feeling completely decent. I'm kind of under the weather, and it's kind of late and or early in the morning depending on how you think of like world time zone. Anyway, so we're going to basically talk about air vision in this video and just briefly talk about why it's so bad and how you can kind of alleviate the issue. But first and foremost, the way that Shulk's counterattack looks and will face differs on the direction you're initially starting from. Regardless of being grounded or airborne, the attack of the counterattack of Vision will look the same, despite air physics and whatever. So when both Rhine Time and Shulk Time are countering these POW blocks at the same time, notice how Rhine Time on the left portion of the stage will start from the right side closest to us towards the screen and will diagonally arc towards the left away from us and towards the Mechonis. Whereas Shulk Time on the right side of the stage will already point and have his Monado towards his right side closest to the Mechonis and will diagonally go up and left towards us, ending in that slash. And you can also see underneath the POW block on Rhine Time's side, you'll see the character portraits that there's a slash trail effect from the ether portion of the Monado. So this pretty much will show you visually that the slash goes diagonally into the z-axis from an adjacent point to the other. So with that said out of the way, let's get on to it. Alright, so we come back to Omega Gyroplane, switching out CPU Shulk for Samus. Not really for a huge reason, but just decent dummy test. And she's going to hold the Freezy item to activate our aerial vision for us. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to make this the first procedure test, and that these characters in their particular locations is set. And because of Omega Gyroplanes and future Omega stage will test differently on are going to be the same distance, figuratively, there's not going to be really much air within. So in this case, we're going to have Samus throw the Freezy up in the air to activate the air vision, and this will cause us to show off the just the faults, the mighty depressing faults. So let's get to it. This time we're going to have Shulk do 20 frames of airtime for this set. And now we're just going to let the scenario play itself out. Now right here, it's it's paused on frame 44. So what you're going to see is that the glancing blow, aka Phantom Hit, will appear above Samus's helmet. But on frame 46, it'll physically hit Samus. That's the first hitbox frame, being 46, hitting Samus, despite that 45 whiffed. So in this scenario of 20 frames of airtime, Shulk barely hits Samus with frame 46. So, with that said, let's get on to the second scenario. So in this second test, we just basically had Samus roll to the very end of the ledge and just foxtrot into neutral twice so that she stands where she is now. And just Shulk dies, sits at center stage, and just softly turns around to be at center still. And this procedure, we're going to have Shulk have 13 frames of airtime and just simply throw the Freezy for an activation. So, let's do it. Now, the scenario pans out. What's going to happen is Shulk is going to, well, I'll just show you. You see that? That's called slashing someone's face, but Z-axis saying no. This is basically the best case spaced scenario flaw. And this is basically the reason of this video. So, yeah, needless to say, bummer. So now we're at a stage like Omega Flatstone X, and to keep this in mind, Duck Hunt, Omega or Not also works. Both of these stages are 2D flat, which means that the z-axis is completely irrelevant, and that from this theory alone, from the Z-axis issues of vision, it should be much better, if not at least helped more. So, we're going to take the same first procedure on Omega Gar and have Shulk at 20 frames of airtime. And now we're just going to have the scenario pan out like normally. So right there, there's a particular hit animation that appears on top of the S in the gas sign. And right there, it does show a little hit, little effect on top of Samus's helmet. That's not a glancing blow, that's just a straight up hit. And yeah, other than other animation effects that indicate a hit, this is frame 45 hitting Samus at that point. In the first test, it was a phantom hit that didn't hit Samus, whereas here it does. So, now we're going to take the same scenario test, but this time we're going to make Shulk have 21 frames of airtime and then initiate the counter. And keep in mind, 1 frame of airtime doesn't seem like much of a difference, but considering that the first time that we tried this on Omega Gaur planes, there was not even a complete hitbox confirm on hit whatsoever. So, again, let's try it. Alright, so 21 frames of airtime complete. Now let's mightily do this on. Right now, we're at 43. So what's going to happen when I frame skip is that it'll pause on frame 46 and the hitbox will confirm right there. Ba-doom, ba-doom, delivered to the max. So, on to the next one. Alright, so I actually lied. This is the very last scenario. And last time we did this on Omega Gaur, the very ether trail slashed Samus's visor across the helmet and nothing took place. So now we're going to recreate the same scenario with 13 airtime frames. And here you go. So what's going to happen is going to frame skip on 45, I believe. No, this is 44, I'm sorry. So yeah, right there on frame 46, the beam doesn't actually physically show the shading that's slicing through the visor of Samus's helmet. But right there, regardless, it'll connect and hit anyway. So, conclusion is that vision in the air is actually not bad at all on a 2D stage. However, good luck getting that counter pick, because most likely you're going to get banned on Duck Hunt. So with that all done and said, I'm sorry about the long video, but keep it mighty lovely on, everyone. Thanks for watching.